My name doesn't matter anymore. What matters is this. I once had everything. $1 million promotion. A beautiful fiancée. A future so bright it hurt to look at. 3 people, my best friend, a corrupt CFO, and a dirty lawyer. Stole it all in one night. They framed me, buried me, forgot about me. I spent 5 years in hell. Then I spent the next 5 years taking everything they had, their fortunes, their reputations, their families, one calculated move at a time. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, if you've ever been powerless while guilty people prospered, if you've ever fantasized about the perfect revenge, this story is for you. Hit that like button. Subscribe for the most epic revenge tale you'll ever hear, and comment, how far would you go for justice? Now let me tell you about the night my life ended, and the day I became someone new. 10 years ago, I was on top of the world. My name was Edmond Clarke, 28 years old, senior systems architect at Titan Financial Group, one of the biggest investment firms on the East Coast. I'd built their entire algorithmic trading platform from scratch, code that generated hundreds of millions in revenue, and I was about to be promoted to Chief Technology Officer, CTO, at 28, the youngest in company history. I had the official offer letter, signed by the board, starting salary, $800,000, plus equity that would be worth millions when the company went public in 2 years. I also had Mercedes. God, Mercedes. Dark hair, brilliant smile, a lawyer at a white shoe firm downtown. We'd been together 3 years, engaged for 6 months. The wedding was planned for spring. Everything was perfect. I should have known better. The night it all fell apart started like any other. Thursday evening, late October. I was working late, as usual, putting finishing touches on a major system upgrade. The office was mostly empty. Just the cleaning crew and a few other workaholics like me. My phone buzzed. Text from Fernand Mondego, my best friend since college. We'd started at Titan together, worked our way up side by side. He was in business development. I was in tech, different tracks, no competition. Or so I thought. Drinks? You've been working too hard. Celebrate your promotion properly. I smiled. Yeah, why not? The upgrade could wait. I met him at our usual bar. Upscale place, leather boots, craft cocktails. Fernand was already there, bourbon in hand. To the future CTO, he said, raising his glass. We drank, talked. He asked about the wedding, about Mercedes, about my plans for the new role. You deserve it, man, he said. Really, you've earned this. There was something in his voice I didn't catch then, something hollow. I went home around midnight. Mercedes was already asleep. I kissed her forehead, crawled into bed, and passed out. The next morning, my world exploded. I woke to my phone ringing. 6:47 a.m. My boss, Richard Chun, the CEO. Edmond, my office. Now. The tone made my stomach drop. What's wrong? Now. I threw on clothes and drove to the office, heart pounding. What could possibly? The security guard at the lobby stopped me. Mr. Clarke, I need your badge. What? Why? Orders from upstairs, sir. They escorted me to Richard's office. Not alone. There were 2 people from legal, someone from HR, and a man in a suit I didn't recognize. Sit down, Richard said. His face was stone. Richard, what's going on? We received an anonymous tip last night about financial irregularities in your department. What? That's insane. We ran an audit, pulled your laptop logs, your access records, everything. He slid a folder across the desk. Want to explain these transactions? I opened it. Bank statements, transfer records, offshore accounts, my name, my employee ID, transactions totaling $2.3 million, routed through shell companies, ending in accounts in the Cayman Islands. I'd never seen any of it before. This isn't me. I didn't. There's more. He pulled up something on his computer. These emails from your account to a journalist offering to sell proprietary trading algorithms. I looked at the screen. They were sent from my email address. Timestamped from nights I'd been working late. The language sounded like me. The technical details were things only I would know, but I hadn't written them. Someone framed me. I said, "This is a setup." "Save it." The man in the suit spoke up. "I'm Detective Morrison, Financial Crimes Unit. Mr. Clarke, you're under investigation for embezzlement, corporate espionage, and wire fraud." Everything after that was a blur. They seized my laptop, my phone, my access to everything. The company put me on immediate, unpaid leave pending the investigation. I tried call Mercedes. Straight to voicemail. I called my lawyer friend from college. He listened to everything, then said quietly, "Edmond, this is bad. Really bad. The evidence it looks airtight. We need to talk about plea deals." I didn't do anything. "I believe you, but proving it? That's going to be nearly impossible." The next 3 weeks were hell. The investigation expanded. More evidence appeared. Recordings of phone calls I'd supposedly made. Witnesses who remembered suspicious behavior. The DA built a case that looked unbreakable. My legal bills skyrocketed. I burned through savings. Had to sell my car. Mercedes stopped returning my calls. Finally, I went to her apartment. Fernand answered the door. "Edmond," he said, not surprised, almost pitying. "Why is Fernand here?" I pushed past him. "Mercedes." She came out of the bedroom. Wouldn't look at me. "Mercedes, I didn't do any of this. You know me." I don't know what to believe anymore. Her voice was small. "Scared. We've been together 3 years. You're going to believe some fabricated evidence over." "It's not just the evidence." Fernand stepped between us. "She's scared, Edmond. You've been acting paranoid, erratic. We're worried about you." Mercedes pulled off her engagement ring, set it on the counter. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I can't do this." I looked at Fernand, at the way he was standing, protective, possessive, and I understood. I breathed. "You did this. You're not well, man. You need help." I lunged at him. Mercedes screamed. Fernand caught my arm, spun me toward the door. "Leave," he said quietly, "before this gets worse." The criminal trial lasted 6 months. My court-appointed lawyer, I couldn't afford private counsel anymore, did his best. But the prosecution had everything. The money trail, the emails, expert witnesses who testified about my access and capabilities. And they had Danglars, the CFO of Titan Financial, a sleek, silver-haired snake who testified that he'd had concerns about my behavior for months, that he'd tried to investigate quietly, but I'd been covering my tracks. He lied, smoothly, convincingly. The jury found me guilty on 7 counts. The judge gave me a choice: 15 years in federal prison or accept a plea deal, 5 years in a minimum security corporate crimes facility, followed by 10 years probation with strict conditions. I took the plea. The facility was in Nowhere, Montana. Not quite a prison. Not quite not. We weren't in cells, but we couldn't leave. We worked, ate, slept under constant surveillance. My roommate was an old man, 70, maybe older, thin, gray, with sharp eyes that never stopped calculating. His name was Abbé. "What are you in for?" he asked the first night. "I didn't do it," I said automatically. He laughed. "Everyone here didn't do it. But you actually didn't, did you?" I looked at him. "How can you tell?" "Because you're angry. Not guilty. Not ashamed. Angry." He leaned forward. "Tell me everything." So I did. Over the next 3 years, I told him everything. And slowly he told me his story. Abbé had been a hedge fund manager. Brilliant. Built a fortune in the 90s. Then got caught up in a scandal. Framed, just like me, by partners who wanted to share the company. "I learned something in here," he said one night. "The system isn't broken. The system works exactly as designed. It protects power, concentrates wealth, destroys anyone who threatens it. Then what's the point?" I asked, "How do you fight that?" He smiled. "You don't fight it. You use it." For 2 years, Abbé taught me. Not just finance, though he taught me that too. market manipulation, offshore banking, shell companies, the entire invisible infrastructure of wealth. He taught me psychology, how to read people, how to manipulate them. He taught me patience, planning, the long game. Revenge, he said, is not about anger. It's about mathematics. You identify what people value most, and you systematically remove it. Not all at once. That's murder. Slowly, so they feel it, so they understand. In his 4th year, Abbé got sick. Cancer, fast-moving. On his deathbed, literally, in the facility's medical wing, he grabbed my hand. "I never got my revenge," he rasped. "But you will. You're smarter than I was. More patient. I don't have resources. No money, no." "Yes, you do." He pulled out a piece of paper. Numbers, coordinates, account information. I had a contingency. Money I hid before they caught me. $50 million, waiting in accounts they never found. It's yours now. Abbé, promise me something. Don't just destroy them. Make them understand why. He died that night. I verified the accounts. Real. Every penny of it. I served the rest of my sentence planning. When I walked out of that facility 5 years after entering it, I wasn't Edmond Clarke anymore. I was someone new. I'd used the facility's limited internet to create an identity. New name, new history, all carefully constructed and layered. I'd use Abbé's money to establish an offshore network of shell companies and investment vehicles. On paper, I was an international venture capitalist, mysterious, wealthy, with vague connections to European finance. My first move was research. Fernand had married Mercedes, was now VP of Business Development at Titan, making good money, but living beyond his means. Big house, expensive cars, the lifestyle he'd always wanted. Danglars had moved up too, chief financial officer now, with a reputation as a conservative, cautious money manager. But I knew better. I dug deeper, found his hidden accounts, his secret investments. He was playing with the company's money, skimming, taking risks he covered up with creative accounting. Villefort, the prosecutor who built the case against me, was now a federal judge, appointed by friends in high places. Untouchable, but everyone has secrets. I spent 6 months just watching, learning their patterns, their weaknesses, their pressure points. Then I struck. Target 1, Danglars. I approached him through intermediaries. A European investor interested in partnering with Titan on a major infrastructure deal. Low risk, high reward. Government contracts in emerging markets. Danglars took the bait. We had dinner. I played the role perfectly. Refined, confident, casually wealthy. Dropped names of real firms, real deals. Made it all sound legitimate. "This is a limited window," I said. "I need American partners who can move fast. The returns are guaranteed, government-backed." His eyes lit up. "How much are we talking?" "Initial investment of $10 million. Projected returns of 30% within 18 months. He practically salivated. Over the next 3 months, I built the trap, created fake documentation, forged government contracts, set up an entire network of false entities that all confirmed each other. Danglars didn't just invest company money. He invested his own fortune, borrowed against his house, pulled in his retirement accounts. $12 million. Everything he had. Then I pulled the plug. The government contracts vanished. The partner firms disappeared. The money evaporated into untraceable offshore accounts, most of which led back to me. Danglars tried to cover it up, cooked the books, but I'd anonymously tipped the SEC weeks earlier. They were already watching. When the audit hit, everything unraveled. He lost his job, his savings, his house. His wife left him when she learned he'd gambled everything. Last I heard, he was working at a car dealership, selling used Hondas. Target 2, Fernand. This one was personal. I wanted him to feel what I felt. Betrayal. Loss. The humiliation of having everything stripped away. I started by befriending him. Under my new identity, of course. Met him at an investor conference. Charming. Successful. Exactly the kind of person Fernand aspired to be. We became friends. Real friends, or so he thought. I met Mercedes at a dinner party. She didn't recognize me. I'd changed too much. Lost weight, different hair, new clothes, new mannerisms. But I recognized her. Still beautiful, but harder now. Tired. Over months, I learned their marriage was failing. Fernand cheated. Stayed out late. Took her for granted. I was patient, sympathetic, a good listener. Mercedes started confiding in me about her regrets, about Edmond, the fiancé she'd abandoned. I think about him sometimes, she said one night over wine. Wonder what happened to him. Maybe, I said carefully. He moved on, found something better. Meanwhile, I was destroying Fernand professionally. Remember those shell companies I'd set up? Some of them were doing business with Titan, specifically with Fernand's division. I'd created a paper trail. Kickbacks, bribes, money laundering, all pointing back to Fernand. Then I sent it to investigative journalists at the Wall Street Journal. The story broke on a Tuesday morning. Titan Financial VP implicated in corruption scandal. By Wednesday, Fernand was suspended. By Friday, he was fired. Mercedes left him the following Monday. I helped her move out, carried boxes, made her laugh. Never mentioned that I'd orchestrated her husband's destruction. 2 weeks later, Fernand's lawyer called me. Fernand needed money. Could I help? I met him at a cafe. He looked broken, desperate. I don't know what happened, he said. Someone set me up. The evidence is fake, but no one believes me.